This is my first time.
This is mine too. Welcome to the Firing Pin Live.
Firing Pin Live, bringing you entertainment since 2020.
Yeah,
Has it been
right?
that?
No
Yeah.
way.
Has it been? We started this during the whatevers,
That's true. Yeah.
The dark days.
the dark times,
Wow.
the troubles. Oh, our page has been updated. Cool. Look at that.
Yeah, it's
Welcome.
really been like a while.
It really has. I would love. This is why we need to hire those interns. We need to count how many streams we've done because it's got to be well over 100 by
Definitely.
now.
I would
Yes.
assume.
'Cause
On
we've-
Spotify, we're at like 30.
We've pretty much done this every week. I mean, there's weeks we took off.
Yeah.
But we've done it certainly more weeks than not.
Yes.
I would say at least 45 a year we've done.
I would agree
Is
with that.
good,
Yeah.
you think? Good. Yeah. So I would say we've done at least 100. Like, it's pretty
Yep.
cool. That's pretty
It's
cool.
really cool.
Cheers. Cheers to us.
To us, boys.
Just a
To
normal
the stream.
Arizona officer.
Yes.
And to all of you,
That
'cause
is
the
kinda
stream-
wild.
The stream would not be here without
Arizona
without,
Hards.
without them.
Yeah. Oh, we've got to love our viewers.
Our viewers and our sponsors, which we'll get to in a bit, right? We'll get to them. We have sponsors. We'll get to them.
Yeah, we do have.
We're our friends.
We're doing
They're cool.
we're doing a giveaway. What is this? Little,
That is a chicken out golden ticket.
look at that. Can we go to the overhead, Cam? Look at that.
Hi, Gemma.
Golden ticket. And you know what you get with the golden ticket? You're gonna have to wait to find out.
I
It's
was gonna-
amazing. It's really good.
those are
It does
like-
it say on the back?
If you
it
don't,
does.
Okay.
but
if you don't follow chicken out, you'll understand how rare those are. I've never seen one in person.
They've only done it twice, and we're like the third time
Yeah.
that they've allowed. Like, and they told us like you can do whatever you want. So
Like,
pretty
like
awesome.
we're gonna give away their van. They have that van.
They'll be surprised.
You said whatever.
Right.
But no, we're gonna give away some of their food,
That's
to
cool.
a lucky viewer, and we have some other
They're so
giveaways.
good.
And
They were
we got
so
a lot
good on
of-
Freedom Weekend.
Oh yeah, it's always one of those things that's so nervous ordering food, especially something like, oh, this is something I love, and I know we like it, but it is something different. A lot of people expect like a chicken barbecue,
Sure.
which this was delicious, but it wasn't a barbecue.
It's not
It was-
it's not chicken barbecue.
was
So if
fried,
you're looking for
you
that,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they are downtown. They're over by I want to say it's the Little Theater. Is that on East Avenue? Right off, right in Rochester. There, kind of over by the
Yeah.
Museum of Play neighborhood. They've got
that's
their
a
own.
cool-
They started out as a
spot.
pop up. You had to like follow them on social media and stuff, and now they've turned into like a full restaurant. Like I think they're open tonight. You can go there.
They have a
till, like,
lot of
10 o'clock
followers
at night,
too.
yeah.
Like their Instagram kills.
They were recently voted, I think, DNC's like best fish fry in Rochester too.
and there
which-
was like 30 people they were competing against.
yeah.
Impressive. I
Very
love-
impressive.
Thank you to you for introducing me to Chicken Out. And I remember when you were like talking, like they were the pop up still.
Yeah.
and
There were days you'd have to wait 2 hours, like at
Blossom
which-
Road Pub and
at a
stuff.
bar, boo-hoo. But like,
Right,
you'd
yeah,
have to
yeah.
wait like 2 hours. You'd have to like hustle and bustle to like try to get one of their orders so you could. Yeah.
There's a lot
Good.
of cool spots to eat in Rochester.
There are. We actually have a pretty good food scene, I think. For like we punch above our weight. I would
Definitely.
say as,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as cities go.
I'm really partial to garbage plates. So like,
Oh,
that's-
yeah. It's
you can go anywhere
food
and
of
get a good
champions.
garbage plate. So
food of champions.
If you want to start punching above your weight, where would you go?
yeah, that's a good time to mention our sponsors, Beyond Driven Fitness and Performance.
That's exactly
on
where I'd go.
Main Street in Leroy, New York, right? If you guys are looking for 24/7 gym access, if you guys are looking for sports specific training and some of the best personal trainers you're going to find anywhere, in my opinion, if you're looking for state of the art equipment in terms of cardio or strength training, functional fitness stuff, they have it all. They have their Beyond Boxing program that they're rolling out
And if
now.
you just want to get your ass kicked, like just doing the rowing and elliptical.
I just love that they are. I really like finding the firing pin of other industries.
Right.
Like we've set up a certain thing here, and people love us for it. We just have kind of like a vibe about us. And you go into certain places, and you can tell like, wow, you're not just some dude who does this because this is what like you do. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
your dad made me do this. I hate it or whatever. And it's not
No,
just some
there's like a
corporate chain that
cultural element
you
to it.
live and breathe this. And that was Casey from Beyond Driven. Like he came in and it was awesome.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're really passionate about what they do, just like we are here. So that's really important to us is finding, like you said, the people who do what they do to the fullest extent of their capabilities, but not necessarily in our same lane.
Ty Aunt Susie says hi.
Aw, where? I didn't even see that.
Your grandma already posted it.
Aw.
You scroll up a little bit.
Hi, Aunt Susie and Uncle Norm.
A lot of people saying that we did a great job
Dude.
with Freedom Weekend. And I want to give a shout out to Tyler. I mean, this year, Freedom Weekend was pretty much 100% him. I mean, it's a
I
team
couldn't have done it
effort.
without the team.
Sure,
but-
but there, there's one person that ultimately is kind of like put in responsibility of this. Like, this is what you're tasked with, and that was Freedom Weekend, and you nailed it.
Thank you.
That was the best one.
I appreciate that.
We've definitely ever had. We're getting a lot of kudos. Someone said that their kiddo loved the bounce house.
Yes.
Charles says they bought something from every vendor, including us. He thinks he bought something from almost every vendor, including us.
Thank you for that.
Tony says that you are the GOAT.
That's greatest of all
Tyler's.
Tyler.
Greatest of all Tylers.
Good. He left himself an out there. That's
Thank
good.
you. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for helping too. By the way, he was down here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the
And
volunteers were amazing.
Volunteers.
All of the
Super cool. Super cool.
But that's part of that culture thing that we always talk about here, right? Is like we have people who are,
Anthony also appreciated the concertina wire appropriately placed next to the bounce house.
right?
You have to teach your kids about responsibility. Like, it's not just all fun. You see the bounce house and you can't just go off leash. Like, you have to.
We look at it as opportunity training for first aid, right? Like ultimately, if somebody gets injured over there, you have a chance.
Let your kids skateboard, as Jordan Peterson
that
says.
was we had a blast. Freedom Weekend.
So much fun.
It's definitely one of those, when we first started it, we did this amount this year, and let's do more than that next year, and that was a good, almost like we don't do like Black Friday sales or Christmas stuff. Like, we do a little bit of that, like every retail place does.
But we're small business.
We're small. So this was kind of our one big sales weekend that we always used to like. We used to chase that high, so to speak.
It was like all about the sales and what can we do to get more merchandise.
Last year
out
we
the
sold
door
50
and
guns.
stuff,
How do we get to
whatever.
100 guns?
Sure.
Like, and the past couple years we've kind of, for a few reasons, we've kind of dialed back. And the sales are still great that weekend. It's one of our best weekends of the for like one specific day. It still like blows all the other days out of the water. But it's just not about that anymore. And I think people can feel that though. And I think that's one of, not to speak, just about ourselves, but like I think our customers can tell that like we are here and we're just putting out our authentic product, and you either like it or you don't. It seems like a lot of people like it. So.
My mind going in was I want a day for our customers, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we're a community with small businesses. Like, small businesses are in a community, and I really wanted to give a platform for small businesses to come out and, pitch their stuff. And
Charles says we should have cloned you. You were all over the place. Just I would love to. We did this right after the weekend. We all sat down and did like an after action review. And I would love, if there's anybody in the audience, please like give us any feedback you have. If you want to send it privately, I get that too. Like, we would love to hear what we could have done
or
better.
bad,
Like,
please.
probably move the concertina wire somewhere else. That was a very valid, like, that was one of those, like, everything was set up and it was like, I would love to, if any of my equipment would fit to where, like, if I could move the 2,500 pound of wire, I would have. Like, I didn't think of that.
It's like an order of operations.
It was just,
problem,
I didn't think of it. No, everything was set up by then, but it was fine. We handed out like 30 or 40 bandages. It was fine. It was fine.
Barely.
It was fine.
And a tourniquet.
Yeah, they all signed a waiver. You sign a waiver when you come on the property, and you know what's
we taught that 5-year-old how to work a cat pretty well.
Jesus. One thing that I think we'd like to do next year for sure is like a cruise in, or like a motorcycle show, like a classic car thing, and like a motorcycle. We had a bunch of bikers do kind of like independently. They organize their own like ride-ins on Sunday, and I think that would be a really cool addition. Just to, a lot of our customers were bringing in their hot rods, and if we'd have like a special place to put them and give out a few prizes specific for that, I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I'd love to hear.
Enjoy it.
John says we should have had the food tent down by the music. So for next year, hopefully, knock on wood, we'll have a new building, right? Which we can talk about a little bit later. And when we have the new building, that was one of the very first things we said for Freedom Weekend, was that we would like to have sound around like the entire property basically instead of just over. We've got one of those portable PA systems that we, it's Tyler's that we borrow, and it does its job, but you got to be over there. Right. That was a complaint that like when the speeches were happening, nobody over here knew that it was happening just because it's like you had to be over there.
Yeah.
But it's we're making do with what we have, and again, thank you, Ty.
Good feedback.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Keep it coming.
I thought all of the guys did a really outstanding job.
The whole team was amazing.
Like Ben and Cam did a great job, and Dar did a great job over with the machine gun shoot
Each
stuff.
station was
Josiah.
amazing.
And Brian was doing a fantastic job.
Plural.
The Josiahs were in here handling business in the store, and
Josiah in here was like, I didn't sit down the whole day.
I'm
and I was
sure.
like, bro, he was just back here, just sales machine,
Yeah, no, they were. Everybody was hopping and popping all day. It was really good.
James,
So
hey James.
amazing. Sunday I slept so well.
Yes, yeah, Sunday night. That was the
dude.
the
Speaking of, I racked out
victorious.
hard on Saturday. I had laid down. I was gonna, get like a 45-minute little cat nap and then pop back over here for the bonfire and stuff. And I specifically told April, I was like, listen, I'm gonna lay down for like 45 minutes or an hour. Like, come and get me, because I got to go back to the boys and hang out. And I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking around. It's dark. like, what is happening? I was so confused.
Son of a bitch.
It was good. It was good sleep, though.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah,
that's the best.
For sure. You wake up confused. You know you had a good night.
A little sweaty. What's going on? So for those of you that are just joining us, we are giving away this Chicken Out golden ticket, which will basically get you a free meal kind of your choice. Pretty much anything other. They do like party trays and stuff. Don't get a party tray. That'd be really rude. But you can pretty much get whatever you want off the menu on us. Cool. So that's what we're going to be giving away here at some point in the stream. I don't know. The best... what do you think?
Wait,
how do we pick the winner? Just winner, chicken dinner, whoever we want?
I already have somebody in mind because they've already made me laugh.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, I was going to say, whoever makes like a really witty remark, I feel like if you have a really good... witty comment like that is worth something in my opinion. I don't know.
So Charles said that we did a really awesome job under the circumstances, which thank you. Yeah, it's always an event like that. I mean, it's not. We were kind of joking that like we're already behind for next year, right? Like planning it, but it kind of is a whole year process. I mean, it's staying in touch with vendors, it's staying in contact with our manufacturers reps that we've had, and you've definitely been working on this since January or even maybe a little bit before then, like December, to make some of the arrangements and whatnot. And, then the fire happened. And, I spoke about this during the weekend, but like during the fire, like Marty, one of our, the contractor who helped us build this place.
Yeah.
We had the eagle that has like the dates of Freedom Weekend this year on the building. Mm-hmm. And like the fire is raging, and he like points to me and my dad and all of us that were there. And he's like, that's still happening. And it did. Yeah. And like, so.
Killed, not only just happened, like.
It killed. Yeah.
Honestly, the best Freedom Weekend yet.
I thought it was really good, man. I really enjoyed it. Everybody else seems to have really enjoyed it. So
golden ticket reminds them of Willy Wonka. Absolutely.
Well, yes. I was thinking, like, are there going to be Oompa Loompas involved? And then you said there was just going to be a free meal. And I got, like,
there is some kind of magic going on. I haven't looked behind the curtain there.
I think that's actually the secret ingredient. It's not even chicken. It's just Oompa Loompa.
Ground up Oompa
Okay.
Loompas.
Well, I mean, see that, but that would be
Oompa Loompa
something
breasts.
to.
Hey,
but then
fellas.
again, if there's a Grandpa Joe situation, like I get it.
But I don't know if we're supposed to tell the public that. So we'll just scratch that from the live feed.
Shauna mentions the only negative thing that she heard was that a lot of the vendors left early on Sunday or didn't even show up. Which, it is kind of implied in the name Freedom Weekend that it's a 2-day event. Well, it is what it is.
Well, you know who we saw both days? Arms Preservation Inc.
Absolutely.
They're
Right.
sponsors of ours too, aren't they?
They are sponsors of ours, right? So that was a good
Super
segue
cool guys.
again. Nailed it. So Arms Preservation Inc. They have a new product that Ty's holding, their metal preserver spray, metal defense.
Yeah.
And
This is their cool new product. I mean, we always talk about their big blue bags.
we do.
Triple Bs.
And they are BBBs. I love it. Good job.
That was stupid. So the metal defense is cool stuff. This is originally designed for like law enforcement when they leave their guns in the cars all day.
Yes.
They would spray this down. The cool stuff about the metal defense is typically you would use it after cleaning your gun or
Right.
for long-term storage. So all you do is just spray your any metal tools, guns. They used it on my Canon, and after about 5 to 10 minutes, it kind of just dissipates. I like that it doesn't leave an oily residue.
Nice.
It does
And-
leave like a distinct dark color, like on polymer, right? They were
Yeah.
they were leaving. They were spraying a Glock. They had one of the Glocks out
But
there.
on the metal, it's not like oily. It's not like wet.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going. Is you can see the color where the spray has been applied, but you can't actually feel it to the touch, right? And there's no oily residue to it. It's just it's cleaner. Like whatever you spray it on, it's gonna lift whatever dirt and stuff is on there as well. And so
And
that's
supposedly, like spraying this, you spray it and like you have a grandpa's old antique and you just spray it down and you leave it in the safe. Supposedly, it's good for like 2 to 3 years
That's
of
awesome.
protection.
well, I think that's something that could be important to certain people.
We also have to thank
And
them.
definitely for me.
Sorry.
No, good. You're good.
The weather for Freedom Weekend.
Yeah.
I heard that API had a lot to do with creating a micro environment. Maybe is it a macro
Around.
environment at that point? Like around the firing pin? Because we had great weather.
Yeah.
So Dave commented that.
It was
They made
it was very nice. Thank you to API for the great weather inside of the micro environment.
Mike asked if it smells good like WD-40, and it does smell very similar to a WD-40 type of product. So yes, if you like those types of smells, which
It does actually have a little bit.
a lot of
but
us do.
No
sweet.
oily residue.
I love dead air. Dead air feels great.
In a cough. So what we got? Have we, since the fire, we kind of just hung our hats and put our tail between our legs, and we kind of just been sitting around on our duffs, like not really doing anything, right? Like,
That's what we're supposed to be
Yeah.
doing. I didn't know.
I mean,
No.
with an event like that, you are just supposed to like ride it out and be lazy. Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah,
I
just
agree.
do nothing, just sit and get the insurance money. No, I know it does seem at times like there hasn't been much going on, but I promise you, there's been a ton happening behind the scenes in the background. We are constantly working with our design team and the engineers and the builders. We've hired Thompson Builds out in Churchville. Amazing guys. They've been, customers of ours, friends. We've known them for a long time. So I really feel like I'm putting my faith and my trust in someone that has our best interests at heart. Like they want us to be back better, more so than I feel like than anybody. So
And they were sponsors of Freedom Weekend even before we.
they were before the fire.
Before fire,
that happened.
yeah.
Yeah. They were. You're right. And so we have a lot going on behind the scenes. I don't want to necessarily share details yet about what's
Soon.
happening, like until we have firm, like details. But I can say the store will be bigger and better. We will have additional lanes. So I'm very excited moving forward. It's going to take, we basically had two choices. We could rebuild exactly what we had, or we could make improvements. And it's hard to not make improvements. So
Well, you learn so
know.
much over the course of being in business for 9 or 10 years, and you want to incorporate all of that stuff. And so many people have had great suggestions over the course of time for
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be awesome if the firing pin had more lanes, like you said, or
Yeah.
if there were 2 classrooms, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
there's all different opportunities that you see,
yeah,
over time, and this was an opportunity to like capitalize on a really bad situation and
Absolutely.
incorporate some lessons learned. So
come out of it on the other side a lot better.
For sure.
We it'll be hopefully a larger building that will allow us to do not only have a bigger store, but I'd like to do a lot more training. I'd like to do a lot more Second Amendment activism. We were
Yes.
talking about that with the guys from FPC,
Right.
Yeah.
which I just want to highlight again. Like we had 2 of the top representatives. Like we had the 2 guys. Like we had FPC here. Like they are FPC,
cool.
right?
They were so
Like,
cool.
Jeff and I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Don't do that to me. Come on, Jeff and his.
starts with a C.
Come on, don't do this to me. They were amazing people, and they're fighting the good fight. And Tyler's a jerk right now, and he's talked to them so much more than I did. And Terrible with names.
They were actually like really cool.
Wasn't Colin, was it?
No. I'm not going to tell you.
All right. Just look it up. Jerk. I'm not going to help you. I can't wait till you need me and I'm not going to help you. Dead on the highway. Ignore. It's like 3 a.m. Ignore.
Send you a picture of my leg twisted.
It sucks to suck. Well, don't you ask, what's his name from FPC?
Good old.
Super cool, though. Whoever they
Their
are.
speech
like,
was awesome,
I'm
though.
glad-
Like, he was so good at speaking. And
Cody. Yeah. Ha.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, Liz. Cody.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Liz.
I would have gotten there.
I was waiting.
Probably not.
They were really cool. I'm like so happy that they were
Yes.
here and talking.
They
and
don't do that. Like they don't go
Yeah.
to events.
Right.
You'd never see FPC at events. We got them to come to Freedom Weekend to just, we really needed to let people know that there are people fighting for us. And like we need to support those people. Because everyone here, I mean, how many times a day do you hear someone like, oh, hey, sir, you want to buy that 9mm? Well, I'll need your driver's license, and I've got to log all this information. Like, oh, grumble, grumble, grumble. Like, well, let's do something about it.
yeah.
Like, we can't just sit here.
I explain FPC to people like they are our generation's NRA.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
It does.
Like, what the NRA should be.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Because they're not spending all this money on suits and private
Yeah,
planes
and
and
trips.
various stuff. And that's one of the reasons that they don't like to go around and do different event appearances, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not a good. They don't view that as like the best use.
Yeah,
of
they'd
the
rather-
funds.
they'd rather spend
They
money
wanna
elsewhere.
Spend it just on the legal fight, right? And they were explaining how expensive some of that stuff can be, and they really don't like to harp on like money, like it's some sort of cash machine or
Right.
whatever. But at the same time, like they were explaining how expensive the legal fees
Oh, it's
involved in these
crazy.
cases are, and
Just to get one, like, on the docket is basically $50,000.
Yeah.
And that's on the low end.
Yeah.
the
And
thing
to
is
actually get anywhere, you're probably talking more like $250,000.
Yes.
Like, which again, it's crazy that we have to spend that.
and that's for
fight for
individual
our own
every
rights.
individual case, right?
Exactly.
So-
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It is.
The
It is.
only
Okay.
thing the only thing that actually keeps that machine going is money. There's nothing else that will satiate their needs.
And like you can give your money to anything, but giving it to a good cause that like actually cares about you and your rights.
well, and
feels
they've
good.
won a lot of victories in courts and temporary restraining orders, and they're constantly fighting an uphill battle. So we really owe it to them to support, like you say, the people that support our rights.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's important.
I love that we were kind of the facilitators. They've been trying to get a hold of Spike
Yeah.
for a long time. Spike Cohen, he was here.
Right.
I
was
want to talk
glad-
about that too.
I was glad he was able to attend. I know there was a question there.
We all found out at the same time. We were literally on the live stream last week,
The guy left with Florian, right?
and I
Yeah.
saw the tweet of Spike saying he's not coming, and I'm like, all right, well, and
And we had just teased it, right? We had just teased it
Yeah.
on the stream.
But shout
And
out
then-
to Spike and the New York State Libertarian Party for helping get Spike here. Huge asset there. I love those guys, Dwayne and all of them.
Too cool.
And
Too
Spike
cool.
was awesome. Again, such
Very
an
good speaker.
amazing speaker.
Yeah.
Like he draws you in 100%. Like
And so it was great. Those guys have been wanting to connect for a long time. They were able to connect here. Then we had Genesee County Scope was here.
Yes.
And I know a lot of the Scope guys, and I don't want to speak for them, but as a Scope member, or maybe I might not be current, as a former Scope member. I mean, you guys remember after the SAFE Act, how many people had those yard signs out
everywhere, yeah.
everywhere. I mean, Scope was a thing. I mean, they grabbed our hearts. They had all this momentum, but I just don't think they had the experience. Before the SAFE Act, Scope was like less than 100 members statewide, I want to say. And then it grew to like 100,000 or more members statewide, and they weren't ready for that. Well, now they're still around. They still have a good base of membership. They still have I think if you went to New Yorkers and said, hey, Scope is doing something versus FPC is just too new still for most guys, especially Scope aged,
Yeah.
I'll say.
Well, we don't have the same gun culture here in New York.
It's different.
Right? Not
It's different.
everybody here.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, people here are not accustomed to fighting against the government for
Yeah.
their rights.
Yeah.
But the
They're
people
just
that
very,
are-
like, go along to get along.
our gun culture is like if you're in the culture, you're it's strong. Like I don't know. Like I
They're
think about
we're hardcore, but we're
our polar
like
wave
small.
guys.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. We just know what we don't have.
So it was nice to hear like the Scope guys had connected with FPC also, and there's going to be some collaboration there.
I hope that-
where it's
I hope that pans out.
Like, look, Scope is the local, boots on the ground that can raise the money and raise the awareness because they have the local recognition.
Right.
And then we're going to partner with a national group like FPC who can actually come in here and be like, okay, well, we've attacked these laws 20 ways in these other states, and this is how we do it. And if you support us, we can, you know what I mean?
I really hope that.
I
I
like-
hope that pans out.
I
It's
like
not-
the idea of
Yeah.
getting the Scope membership to be more aware of FPC, but also like, yes, if they could direct some of their funds directly into the
Because they
people
have
who
a
are
legal
fighting.
defense fund that
Exactly that.
it sounded like they've been raising money and then waiting and hoping to find something to do with it. And it's like, well, here we go.
FPC.
Charles said he spent a lot of time talking to Spike. Very cool guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. I've always enjoyed interacting.
Hey,
with him.
Nate, thanks for coming.
I gotta
It's
go
great to see
grab
Thanks
a
for
you.
beer from the
organizing.
fridge.
Yeah.
I'll be right
Yeah.
And thanks for organizing that bike, like the bike show up. That was awesome.
Hey, Pat, while you're grabbing a beer, think about what would you carry as a summer carry, a stock SIG P365 or a CR 920? I think I kind of know the answer, but
I know my choice. What about you, Brandon?
cell phone. I have a LG.
Yeah,
I have a Samsung. Sorry, Samsung Galaxy
even-
S22.
I have a
LG.
Smith and Bender.
I have a Verizon.
I carry a rape whistle.
Yeah.
So in case somebody attacks me,
I
I'll
carry-
just blow it and somebody will come and help me.
A crow call.
Right? No, I don't think that works very good. So yeah, I did see that question. I love that question. If it's a choice between a stock P365 and a stock CR920, I would say that I would be inclined to go CR920 personally. I'm sorry, is that the 920P as well?
It was just the CR 920.
Okay. Right. So the CR920P is integrally compensated. So it has a single port compensator on the front of the barrel there. It's not a threaded barrel. It's pinned, so it's totally good to
legal.
go there. Yeah. It's legal for
Good.
whatever
Good.
that's worth.
If you believe in laws.
And then, for legal reasons, that was a joke. So the choice I would make, I think, would be the 920. I'm pretty sold on Shadow Systems
100%.
in general.
Absolutely.
The Wilson Combat equipped you.
Yeah, so that kind of changes the math a little bit, right?
like the Sharps
Yeah, if
brothers.
we're just going a stock gun with a stock gun, yeah, I got to go CR920 for me personally. And if it was a CR920P, even more so, because then it's compensated.
The CR920 is kind of a cheat because it's like it's stock, yes, but it's upgrade. Like their stock is an upgraded Glock,
Right.
So
yeah.
I super enjoy the texture on those handguns when I carry them and when I get them out of the holster. I feel like my hand is always in the right spot, but I'm not, or it's always like gripping and staying in the right spot, I should say. Like the gun doesn't want to move around in my grip because it's got an aggressive enough texture. But I'm not getting my skin kind of ripped up. Like I used to have a shield, and it was just the stock 2.0 shield,
Yeah.
and the pebble texture on that grip was like a nightmare on bare skin.
Do you carry a full size all year round, or
I do.
Or do you switch
Yeah,
up in
I'm
the
not
summer?
I'm not a guy that likes to switch things up.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a little smarter for me. I've thought about getting like a Glock 48 many times, or something like the CR920 with an optic, and maybe even going just with a handheld light instead of like a pistol mounted light, because it is kind of. It's more difficult to conceal a bigger gun. It just is. Like,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't pretend like I don't have to make different choices about wardrobes and holsters and
Absolutely.
belts and shit like that, right? So, it would be easier for me if I carried a smaller gun sometimes. But I don't carry a gun because I think it's easy. I carry a gun because I think it's important, and I'm willing to put in the effort to do what I think is better.
Sure.
Which is carry a bigger gun, right? But that's a choice everybody has to make individually. For me, it's like more of a lifestyle thing, and it's not like something I do, it's like what I do.
Yeah.
So
Makes
for some
sense.
people, it's like something that they do. For me, it's like what I
That
do.
is what you do.
Right. And the other thing is I teach it too. So like I want to be an example of like, hey, you can definitely carry a bigger gun if you had to, or if like, you know, if you only had one. Right? I'm always thinking about the person who has to choose one handgun, right? If you're going to
spend home defense, one for everything. Right. Yeah.
If I get one gun and that's going to have to do all of the different shit that I want it to do, then I want a gun that makes sense for a one size fits all sort of role. So I don't necessarily want to be real limited from a size perspective to like a Ruger LCP2.
Sure. Yeah.
Or even a Ruger LCP Max, or even a Shield, or even a Shield Max. Like I feel like all of the or Shield Plus or whatever.
I want to see you once you get your master status shooting
USPSA
like
right.
normally.
Yeah.
Then you've got to go into hard mode and do it with like an LCP2.
No.
Just no.
Even if there weren't a specific rule that probably says I couldn't do that, right? I still would not, because I just don't want it. Like it doesn't have to be hard. That's the thing. There's too many good guns out there, right? Like you could throw a rock in any direction and hit a good handgun.
Reliable, right?
For somewhere in the $600 or $800, right? Yes, Matt says carry location is going to make a big difference. And yeah, so on that topic, right, like body composition and body type matters for that, right? Because not everybody feels comfortable carrying appendix all day, every day, right? Yeah. Especially with a bigger
sitting down, getting in the car,
right, whatever. Yeah. Everybody's got different needs in that regard.
It hurts when I'm at the Olive Garden.
And women, right? Like a lot of women don't like to wear belts and things like that, right? Depending on wardrobe choices. So they might not have like as many options about bigger guns because there's nothing to hold them in place, right? If they're not wearing a belt.
Our buddy Jim wants you to go back though. He says, what does have only one gun mean? He does not understand those, like he understands each one of those words individually, but like only owning one gun, I don't.
Yeah, that.
Could you extrapolate?
Well, so in infancy, some people start out with only one. No, if you just got your pistol, like if you're not nominally a gun person, right? And obviously Jim is joking, but you know, if you're not nominally a gun person, then you might only have, you know.
Or fit a budget, you know.
Right. Yeah. It's expensive. It's expensive to start. Like
it's very this is
a barrier of entry.
There is definitely, especially here in New York State, right, with concealed carry permits and things like that. And a lot of people, like if they are really financially strapped, they might go way down the quality, you know, spectrum until they find something that they can afford. And so I don't want them to have to do that.
The one thing I will recommend, though, is for your first firearm that you choose, spend a little extra money, get something good. I know money is tight and it's easier said than done, but it's just worth it. Buy something that that's like worth your life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is kind of. We don't want to be a jerk when we say that, but sometimes it'll be like, you get that customer in here who's like, oh, here's these two different guns. And like, well, that one is like $50 more. And it's like, we are talking about your life
or your
family's life or whatever.
This is a life. This is a piece of life.
I get it. You tell me you're buying a gun to go shoot woodchucks with. Like that's a different thing.
100%.
When we're talking about like a self-defense carry gun, like not that, okay, you spent $3,000 on a Nighthawk. That doesn't mean anything. That's the wrong message.
They make Nighthawks that cheap?
But yeah, right.
If you can find me a Nighthawk for $3,000, I'll get on the horn with a credit card company.
I will never forget seeing the owner of Nighthawk at SHOT Show. Man was like old, probably like 70.
You just offended so many customers. No,
but listen. This dude had so much
70
class.
Is the new 50.
Cowboy hat, like snakeskin boots. I just want to be that guy. Like, you know, he is I looked at him like he owns Nighthawk.
He's just a baller. Like some dudes are
just like an old Southern baller.
Some guys are just ballers.
Ooh, we'll go back to a different Matt. Matt S says that his first pistol was junk. It was an FMK Patriot. He wishes he never got it. I know those guns. Yeah, they're absolute trash. You know, maybe better than a sharpened stick, we sometimes say, but it's like,
I mean, I guess if it's reliable, the sharpened stick works every time. That's the problem with that.
That's like that. I would buy that gun if it's like there is like my car's getting flipped over by rioters, and that's the only thing that's in stock, or you know what I mean? Like that's the only scenario I'm buying that firearm. But
yeah, I think the barrier to entry for a good new handgun is roughly $500.
Yeah.
Like I think if you can come up with $500, you can get a 43X or you can get a 48, and those to me represent like the kind of like the lowest price rung that I would want to see somebody.
And that's new. You
It's
could
a
certainly,
brand new
if you
handgun,
wanted,
and it's a Glock.
you could buy Gen 3 Glocks for like $300 sometimes, $350. The market's a little fucked right now,
I
but
just put one on consignment, a Gen 4 for $400.
yeah.
I
So,
just sold a
yeah.
Gen 4 Glock for $400.
Matt R. Somewhat of a loaded, I know the answer to this already, but this is a question that gets asked a lot. I think it's a good question to ask. Does what you are doing change what you're going to carry? For example, Matt carries a Glock 42 when he thinks it's super low risk, and then the full-size 45 when he thinks there's a non-zero chance of needing it. So I've heard this a ton, like, hey, I'm just going to Wegmans in Brockport. I'll just take the tiny gun because it's like I might only run into a little bit of problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I know we're laughing about it, and I don't mean to laugh at the question. It's a valid question.
It's definitely
Take it over.
it's definitely a commonly
Yeah, absolutely.
asked question, right? A lot of people say that kind of, make that sort of statement, right? Where it's like, hey, if I'm going to be in Brockport or over here where I think I'm relatively,
Or even to go even further, not carry a gun at all. Just because, I'm just going here quick.
Yeah.
So that is a safe. I've never had a problem there. You've generally
Dude,
never had a problem anywhere, but like, yeah.
I go places without a gun, right? Like, so I don't want anybody that's in the chat right now or anything to
I'm
think
gonna leave.
like
I don't want to be part of this anymore.
Tyler just everything
you're
he
never-
believed.
You don't like, you're always boofing a gun. Always
For legal
have a
reasons,
gun.
my lawyer has advised me not to answer that question. No, but like I don't.
Boofing's when you put stuff up your butt.
It is, and right in the old
For the viewer at home.
right in the old prison wallet.
Ah, okay.
Right in the old prison wallet. All right, so
Sorry, continue.
no, what
God
I'm
bless.
doing doesn't necessarily change what I carry because, first of all, I don't go to places that I think are super high risk intentionally, right?
Yeah, refuse to be a victim.
But then secondarily to that, like, you don't get to choose the fight that you're in, and just like when I go to like Buffalo or Rochester, not everybody that's in the place where you are is from the place where you are. So not everybody that's in the Brockport Walmart plays by the same rules as everybody else in the Brockport Walmart.
Whoa, bro.
Right? So they might play by right. So other people travel around too, right? So just because you're in like a place that you perceive to be safe, not
Sure.
every individual person in that place
Yeah.
chooses to conduct themselves in a manner that's going to
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
safe. Right?
I don't want to, I'm certainly not trying to demean that event at all. It was a terrible tragedy. The Tops shooter, like that wasn't his Tops that he
No,
went
not
to.
at all.
Like
He chose that
exactly
Tops.
right.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
100%.
No, and the majority of people, like the majority of people who are seeking to victimize another person, right, are thinking the same way that we're thinking. Like, where can I go where people assume that they're going to be safe, right? Because they're not looking for a confrontation. They're not looking to get into a gunfight, right? So they're looking for the least likely place where they think they might encounter resistance, right? So I would say, like, just in general, that's not the correct mindset that I would try to instill in somebody.
I like what Jonathan says. Same gun.
I like everything
year
Jonathan
round.
says. He's brilliant.
Same gun year round because of muscle memory. Yeah, that's me. I choose I always just carry my MR920. My Shadow Systems MR920L.
For sure.
I've just shot
There's
it so
not a
much.
metal detector. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Then
Even if there is,
even
it's my hip.
I can't talk about that. Never mind. I want to talk about something,
It's my
but I can't.
colostomy bag. It's metal.
Sir,
It's
you're being an
gun-shaped
ableist.
metal.
All right. So do you have any-
Lee reminds us all that Walmart is a lawless place, no matter what location.
Oh, for sure. You ever
Facts.
seen the Facebook page people of Walmart? Don't,
dude, literally
You're gonna
like,
be prepared for anything when you go in that place.
the most Walmart of Walmarts in the country
Fulton, New York.
is the maybe I'll evaluate it with you. Is the one that's close to like Walt Disney World in Orlando?
Oh,
So
yeah.
like my wife's family
Okay.
is from down there,
Yeah.
and that like they used to live real close to Disney World, and they
Florida
would go
man
like,
all over.
if you were at Disney World or that was just like the one closest to the Magic Kingdom. And it's the melting pot of all melting pots of like strange people of Walmart. Like it's just insanity land. Like it's great.
Just
great.
people attacking each other with alligators and shit. Like, yeah, I get it.
You can never assume any place you go will be safe. Thank you, Charles. That is true. Tim says Freedom Weekend was great, and it was. It really was. And we were talking about Freedom Weekend.
I'll drink to that. Social.
Yeah. Thank you. We were talking about Freedom Weekend, and there was this moment on Sunday where there were some Mongolian impressionist like LARPers, live action role play.
Yeah.
So they're out there, with like foam, swords, and what was the plastic? It's not HDPE, was it? Like there was a high density, some type of plastic, right? That like what they make like the outdoor lawn furniture with, basically. Yep. They were whacking each other with those. They had like 3D printed armor that was super badass.
Yep.
So there's like, and one of the guys was like Dar now, so like he's one of us, but still, if they weren't one of us and they had asked us, hey, can we do that this weekend? We would have been like, fuck yeah, you can, like Freedom Weekend, like you do whatever you want, basically. Yeah. So there was this moment where we had that going on. We had like, the politicians and the activists, like, meeting and just talking and collaborating, I guess, with stuff. And there was a drone. Our photographers had a drone that they were like whipping around, like first person view style. And there were so many things happening that weren't firearms and that weren't like Second Amendment. And it really just made me feel almost like a fringe fest, which we love in Rochester, right? It was like this fringe festival, which if you're not aware, back in the day there was like Shakespeare and high theater, and then there was like juggling and like the other stuff that's like, well, that's
like
not
the arts, I guess, but it's like performance, but yeah,
and it's like, well, it's grown into quite a thing. And I mean, we've got like the Jazz Fest in Rochester, and I think the Fringe Fest is like right up there too. It's growing to be quite a thing. And I just felt that energy from Freedom Weekend too. So I want to expand on that. And if you've got a group that, I mean, as long as it's not like white supremacy stuff and like as long
please
as,
no.
Within reason, obviously, like we want your
or
freedom
do it so we can like paintball you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's like how we had the 2 karate schools that we're going to duel. We wanted to.
I don't know if you heard this,
Cobra Kai style,
but I was announcing stuff on stage, and
it's so funny, Pat.
Hi.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was announcing stuff on stage, and I straight up said, "Oh, I forgot about these guys in the back. If you want to watch some kids fight each other," that's how I explained it.
Jesus
and
Christ.
I had like 7 people later, like, "What?
What?"
So funny. But that was awesome. He comes out. He was a sponsor, and this is his third or fourth time.
No, Al Gramato's been with us. Like I feel like almost every Freedom Weekend.
Yeah,
that we've almost ever had.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Enough to the point where I've seen some of those kids like grow, and it's weird.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just from the once a year demo that they come and do, like, yeah.
But Freedom Weekend is that place, man. Like, I don't know. I love what it's going to grow to be. I can't wait to see Freedom Weekend 5 years from now.
Yeah,
it's that place, boy.
It is a cool vibe, man. Like, yeah.
Nate says he's definitely going to be organizing another biker like ride in. So I love it.
360 days. Let's get on it.
Bring them down.
Nice. Dunk tank was awesome. Yes, I think the dunk tank was awesome.
We learned a little bit from that. It was our first time.
It was. I'd like to maybe like build our own after like looking at the dunk tank and looking at like
terribly complicated.
Looking at the bill for the dunk tank,
yeah,
what it costs us to like rent one for the weekend. I think we could build one and then we could use it all the time for whatever. Like, because we want to do more events. We were just actually discussing an event that we did a year ago, or was it 2 years ago? No, I think we did it last year, 2022. Or it was early 2022, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We did a Western New York, like a sportsman's, like a recruiting night.
Yep.
And what that was, there's all sorts of marksmanship teams and USPSA and IDPA and all the disciplines that are around, trap and skeet and whatever.
Oh,
and we had, do you remember how many clubs? There was like 20 different, I want to say, disciplines that were in attendance, say at least a dozen, right? And it was just an open house night for them to recruit new people. Like, so if, a lot of us are interested in firearms, but we don't know how to fulfill that or how to, execute the
I tried to make Freedom Weekend and shooting recruitment night in the same thing. That was my original plan, like February. And I probably emailed 80 people
really?
From the list, and Nobody got back to me.
Wow.
Like, nobody got back to me. Hurt my
Did
feelings.
you email them like when you were in the sauce a little bit? Hey, loser. Tyler from the firing pin. Ever heard of us?
Bet you have. 32,000 likes.
Bet your mom knows who we are. But
I don't know many moms.
we definitely want to host another one of those. So please, if you are in a discipline that's looking for new blood, or just, I mean, every shooting discipline is interested in new participants. Everyone wants more players in their sport. So get a hold of us if you run or know the guy who runs that part of your chapter or whatever you've got. I mean, if it's a political Second Amendment like activism group, we had Rafa there. You know, if you're a gun club, because they've all got their own interests. You know,
Sure.
We would really love to do more with the youth shooting sports teams. I know we have some connections with the Byron Burgeon one, but there's a lot of other ones in the area. So if you're involved, if you can get us a coach's email, if you can get us contact with the trap teams, the rifle teams, whatever they have for your kids' schools, that's the future. You know what I mean? Like that's who we need to be helping and engaging with the most, I think.
I agree. Yep.
Charles said that he loved the children's demonstration of the karate. He just feels bad that not many were watching.
I saw that comment. I agree with what he says there.
The hard thing was parking. Like, I would have liked to have them be closer, but that area for parking kind of
Just
screwed
where
us.
I think where they were set up for the demonstration was like perhaps suboptimal.
Which was
because
my
of the
fault. That was my
parking.
fault.
Yeah, well, you don't know what
I
you
take
don't
blame
know
for that.
going into it, right? But the other thing too, I don't know if everybody was actually aware of what was kind of happening there.
I announced
just
it
because of like the PA system situation, but also like I think I wish I would have known, because I would have actually probably gone around and been like, "Hey, did you know that the kids are going to be doing a little demonstration over here? We should go and like check it out." Because I agree, I would like to see more people.
We definitely, one of the things that was on our after action for the staff, we published a schedule. We published it, but it wasn't on location anywhere. So
Right.
we just
Yeah.
need to print a few just so that when you're walking in, you can see like, oh, I'm here at 2. I've already missed this and this, but I have this and this to look forward to.
Well, it's like when you go to the immediate example is like the zoo, right? Like you want to know when they're feeding, like
there's a
different
little map
animals, and you
of
can
like
go-
we had a map and we sent it to the vendor so they would know like, okay, unload here, park over here, whatever. Like, but little minor things. We weren't sure. You know, it's always a lot to put on one of these events. You know, you've got your vendor, you've got your tents that you're paying for, you've got this that you're paying for. So and it's like, all right, we've got all the things we need. And sure, like would I want maps? Sure. Is that worth, you know, like the extra $200? We don't know. It's just such a struggle. There's a million other decisions like
Well,
that too.
and like
You
the
always have
layout
to-
is fairly open in
Yeah.
a lot of ways, and it's relatively small, so you
It has
almost
been.
feel like you
Yeah, yeah.
can't necessarily
Right.
get lost. So what's the use of a map? I don't need to navigate any place, right?
Right.
So but you don't know what you don't know going
gotten
in.
so big though. I kind of do need it.
I thought everybody did a great job, and I don't want to get too bogged down in the
Yeah.
things that
Next
didn't
year,
go
Oh, for sure.
Well,
one of the questions that was asked was, are we going to need to ever move locations because we're outgrowing the 2 acres that we have
wouldn't that
here?
be awesome?
It would be amazing, and we've talked about that for like the Western New York recruitment night, especially because of the situation we find ourselves in with the fire. You know, I mean, before we did that in like the winter time, so we needed to be indoors, or whenever it was. I think it was. Around,
It was- there was
like
still
January,
snow.
February, whatever it was. You know, if we want to do it before the rebuild, we were talking like, yeah, maybe we reach out to like a fire hall or just a bigger Liberty Pumps, maybe, or wherever that would let us do a big event. But one of the things that I want to do, or that we had intent right before the fire, so the fire happened on a Friday. That Monday, we had a handshake deal in place to buy 8 more acres of land. We've always owned 2 acres here, and we were going to buy 8 more, bringing us to 10. And a main driver of that was not just Freedom Weekend, but parking in general. I mean, there'll be Saturdays or Sundays that people are parked out on the road. And I've counted, we have 35 parking spots as it is, especially with classes. Oh my gosh, yeah, we have 35 parking spaces, fewer now because we lost them with the range trailer.
Sure.
We lost like 5 or 6 spots, but still, you know, we had 35 spots before, and it wasn't enough. So we needed more space. We've wanted to have more space so we don't get boxed in if somebody else bought something, and because it's always been for sale, right? So,
Right.
and then the fire hit, you know, And it was kind of one of those, like, that deal, that handshake is still shaken on both sides, right? Like, we still are going to do that, but we're just holding off out of respect.
Yeah.
You know, mutual. He came to us and was like, the deal's still on my side of it, but like, let's wait until you're on your feet, you're whatever. So I highly respect. Thank you, Klaus, for that.
It's awesome when people, you know, look out for you.
To go back just a little bit, I don't want parking there next year. I didn't want it this year, and I really
back there.
Where we had parking today.
Oh, sure. It's tough.
I was really adamant like this year, and we ended up doing it there, but I do not want parking there next year.
I think it could have been behind the building, perhaps.
It could have been. We had the tough thing with that is you don't know until the weather hits. Yeah. If it rains, you can't get back there.
Right.
Yeah. That's always the crapshoot. John asks if we could do a time lapse or a live cam of the building going up, and I have looked into that, and I would like to figure out a way. That would be cool to do, just like a live stream, one of those like you know, like they have like the cameras up on the bird's nest up on the skyscraper or whatever, you know, the hawk or whatever. It'd be cool to get one of those mounted and just, here's a website if you want to check up on the construction. Here it is. You
Probably do it just like a trail camera, right?
Probably could. Yeah, I don't know the best way to do it.
There's like Bluetooth enabled ones.
Send it to a website or something.
I have like the GoPros that do that. I legitimately put the whore in hoarder when it comes to hoarding content. So, dude, I have terabytes of just recorded. I love content. Like I'm I'll grab this and never use it.
You've done that a few times with when we were like pulling things out. You like time lapse the whole process.
A lot of it.
Right?
So I one day I'll make a video for it.
I have a friend too who signed up. He's a drone operator, like commercially. He has a drone and everything, and so he signed up. There's a company where you can have basically it like sends his drone on a little map route above the building, and it will give you like, you know, because the drones can only go up so high. This like digitally, the software makes it seem as if the photo was taken from like a much higher and better, you know, like the planes used to when they fly by, drive by, and so he took one like right after the fire with his drone. Then he did another one once we tore half the building down. Right. And then I'm going to tell him once the rest of it. So like every stage of the rebuild will have one of these like photos. We could stitch them all together. So that'll be kind of cool.
And we have a folder.
Right, when like the frame is up, you know what I mean? For the
exactly.
You could do like
the major stages. Yeah.
That'd be neat.
So, hey, John, thanks for coming.
We're saving all of that stuff too in a folder. Like I literally have a TFP fire folder in the drive. Yep. So
that's very cool.
Very excited. What else we got? What's been going on? We've got we do have inventory again. We've got some guns sitting out. That was so cool to have like
a rack
guns
on the
out
floor.
Again. Yes. This feels so good.
I expected like 30 because our Facebook has been weird with reach. I think the algorithm is turned against us. But I was impressed to see how much reach that got when I posted that. So
it was very nice.
Thank you for all of those that like religiously like and react and share our stuff.
It really does help. It's
I feel bad when I don't get reactions.
I generally try not to, you know, woe is me. Like it's hard to run a business, but it is hard to run a business, and it's hard to just stay afloat right now too. Yes. So I get it. If you can't come down and spend some cash with us, I get that. But it doesn't cost anything to like, share. Tell your friends, you know, write a little comment. Like that definitely all helps.
And that's with any small business you see. Like, give them a shout out. You don't even have to. Just give them a like. Like that helps so much for small businesses.
Liking posts and sharing them is good, and recommending people, and you know, all of that stuff can really be a good boost to somebody's small business. So, if you know somebody that runs a small business, you should definitely, you know, make a point to support them in those little ways that don't cost anything.
Absolutely. On the pins page, because Facebook switched everything, now the firing pin has its own like page where I can scroll. It's weird, like it has its own feed. So I'm finally able to like scroll, and I'll like the firing pin will like or heart react small businesses.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I've been really active on that, even though I hate scrolling on Facebook.
It's always fun too. I think that's how you can scroll and see when other people mention us, which isn't something we usually like see as readily. And that's fun. Like I'll catch up with that, and we'll like, oh, in the past week, like 5 different people made it, but like, oh, we were at the firing pin tonight, and you know, did this and that or whatever. And that's always really cool to see. Super cool.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of small businesses, Pat, your wife's got a small business. What's your wife do?
Oh, well, April does everything for your pet needs. Not everything, but she does, you know, nails. I'm
Yeah.
having trouble thinking of the things on the hand.
She'll shoe my horses. No.
She does nails, and she
probably
also
would. She would just she'd be one of those. She'd be like, I figured that out. How hard could it be? It's a big dog.
does a little training here and there. She does some boarding.
Yeah.
And she's just basically a person who
I want to go back. She's amazing with nails too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, anybody can cut a dog's nails, but like there are dogs that don't get their nails cut because they're 100-pound, like, you know.
Yeah, if you have a dog
Fucking-
that like is
yeah.
not great,
Belgian
like needs
Malinois
to be
and, like,
sedated at the vet, or if you have a dog that like has been a problem at Petco, or like you've had to, you know, you've been told you can't bring your dog to this place
Yeah.
to get their nails done anymore. April can almost certainly help you. Her success rate is through the roof. Like I don't want to put an exact number on it, but like it's impressive how often she will come home and be like, yeah, I did 30 dogs today. I had 0 like non-compliance.
Time for walkies, right?
Time for Walkies is the yes, thank you. Time for Walkies is the name of her business. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram, and yeah, we do know a guy, John. I see
You
that
need a guy
over
for a
there.
horse. Yeah.
I want to just. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut off.
Yeah,
That's
no,
important.
I kind of lost my
No, you're good.
train of thought there, so I think we're good.
So, Michael, I see you saying you wish we had a bigger presence on IG. We let our Instagram slack for a long time, and I've kind of taken that over, and we're splitting posts between Facebook and Instagram. Let me know what kind of content you want to see on Instagram so I can help like make that better, because
I think
I can also help.
memes are really what go well on Instagram.
I want to be more involved there too. So if there's
Yeah.
something I can do, let me know.
I think you really just have to be there every day. We have to be posting. Like it's just you have to really like Facebook. You have to put in the work. I think Instagram you have to like put in the work because there's so much less. What do I want to say? Like when you scroll through Instagram, you've got such a short. It's almost like scrolling through TikTok. Like you've either got to get me or you've lost me. You got to get
Yeah.
me or you've lost me. And it's
I just started
Yeah,
a
'cause the
TikTok.
next post is like
scrolling,
right. It's right there. I can just
and
keep
all
going.
of the posts are so good. Like every Instagram post, even from smaller pages, whatever, they just feel like professional photography. Like that. That's the point of it, I guess. But like,
Yeah.
you just really, for Facebook, I don't want to say we can just kind of, we can take any old picture, throw it up there, but with the right with the right message, it's good enough. You can take that same like a Facebook post. Does not work well on Instagram. You have to be like two different things. And it's a lot of energy and it's a lot of, understanding it. And, shareable reels are huge, which again, for our industry, it is tough. We try.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there doing that
squash a
thing,
lot of it,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, they do like throttle things and do different weird tricks with your reach
Shadow
and whatever,
banning.
shadow banning. But
We do want to do more. We
but
do
just
want to
in
do more about it.
general, like,
yeah.
it's
You have motivated me. I will try to do.
Yeah.
I want to
more.
be responsive
Try to outdo
these,
each other.
Yeah.
I feel right. Like
You and I are very competitive.
Tyler and I
with
have a
Facebook.
little competition. Like, I didn't. I was even very respectful though. The other day, he put a post out that he was really like excited about and did like 17 likes or whatever it was. Like I know exactly how many it did. Fucking 17, you pussy. And I'll put my post out. They'll be like, yeah, like 80 likes. Like, fuck, suck on that, Ty. Like, we don't care. I don't care about sports in any way.
Remember that
That's
one
the
you did like 3 likes?
Oh my god, yeah, so embarrassing.
Let's talk about.
Oh. Okay.
I've bombed on
fair.
Facebook before too. We are very competitive
Dude,
with our
sometimes-
Facebook.
and it hurts because that's like you really you have to be effortless about it, and if you're not, they can sense it. The algorithm can be like, no,
You're trying too
the
hard.
algorithm's like, no, you tried too hard. There's
And then I get petty and post a picture of a barrel with an emoji and get 4 million reactions. What?
So you're saying
How does that work?
so you're saying if I just go out there and pop my top and just do a bunch of like
yes.
That's
like the
not
smoke,
gonna-
like the
right.
smoke grenade.
it's not gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
So yeah, Andrew, daily stupid but funny videos plus some high quality photos of current inventory of collectible guns, especially if they are where to go popular guns that easily boom. A lot of these Instagram pages deal with a lot of online sales off of that. Yeah, and then we do try and then look at that Instagram page that like was ripping us off the other day. Did you ever get anywhere with that, Ty? Did he block you too, finally?
Oh yeah.
Remember that Instagram page?
Talk about that.
So we've gotten to the point where there's 2 things that happen. One, like what do I want to call imitation pages pop up that'll be like the firing pin LLC, and it'll be so close. They'll use they'll scrape everything off of us.
Yeah.
And it's just a bot that goes and they'll comment. I'll like make a post. And my posts usually do really well. So
they're amazing, right? Yeah, the best.
Look at Tyler. And so there'll be, like 20 comments, right? And then, my head's so big, and it's like, I gotta check that. 5 minutes later, I'll check, and it'll be like, there's 40 comments. And I'll be like, ooh, that's cool. And it's because a bot has commented on every comment. You want a firing pin shirt? Go to this link and type in your credit card info and pay for shipping, or whatever the scam is this week or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, I gotta go through ban them all, So that happens. And then then we'll just see a lot of pages. Like there was, how did you discover that page, Ty? Did they reach out to you and actually start talking to you?
A few people.
People reach out to us.
Actually, our good friend, I'm not going to dox him, Nick, our really good friend and family owns Triano's Meat Market. Little
very cool.
shout out. Amazing.
So you're not going to dox him. You're going to say it's
That's not his last name. I'm just giving a shout out to
it's like Buckman's Car Wash. That wasn't his name either. Like,
but I'm just giving out they have great. They have just great meat market.
My friend, I won't say who it is, but he owns John Betlam Heating and Cooling. But I won't say who he is. You fucker.
He brought it to my attention.
Crazy. They're not sponsors, so I shouldn't give them any free airtime. But have you ever heard? Did you know there's 2 different John Betlam heating and air conditionings in Rochester?
No.
So one of them, I was in the car one day and I hear their ad come on. And it's like the, right? And then there's another one that comes on and it goes, hi, I'm John someone Betlam or whatever. And he's like, back in the day, there used to be one of us. And then we split. There's this whole like, ooh, I want to. Give me something. Give me some of that drama.
Yeah.
I want it. Oh, man.
That reminds me of, you seen Coming to America? You ever
Oh,
seen
yeah.
that movie?
Oh, yeah.
They're McDonald's. I'm McDonald's. They have the Big Mac. I have the Big Mac. That's what that reminds me. They have the sesame seed bun. My bun's no seeds.
Lee says that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And that is true. That is true.
Sure.
Jim runs a big Facebook page, and he has to boot a lot of bot crap constantly. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So I have to give a shameless plug. We also have a little small business that we're trying to get off the ground. My wife Anna,
Detail.
she makes. I've been kind of teasing it over here. I'm trying to start a gun shop. No, she makes. I wish I had. There's nothing you could link to. We don't have like a Facebook page for her yet, but she's been making little pottery cups and mugs, and she's going to start making like plates and vases and all sorts of crazy stuff. And it's down here. There's a little art shelf over here, and we keep her shoved in the corner, of both at home and here.
Well, because women are.
She's over here. Yeah. So there is some cool stuff here. I know Father's Day is coming up, so there's some cool, like I got these cool green looking, oh shit. Just
break all of
break
them.
one, yeah. I really like this this green color that she's been working on. So pottery is one of those, it's like it's art, I guess.
It
right?
is,
So it's like
in a way,
there's
yeah.
not like you just do it like this. Like you kind of do it and you get what you get in some regards. Like so there's an element of mystery to it. So
Pottery was a class.
she's been having a lot of fun. And we've got a lot of
she makes
pieces
some.
here.
Yeah, I think she makes some cool stuff.
Thank you.
She has like the beer mug type
Yes.
things that
Yes.
I think are.
She's making. I can't wait to show
Pretty
you
interesting.
the pickle guy that
Yeah.
was here for Freedom Weekend.
The barrel?
Like they were vibing pretty well. Yeah,
Yeah.
So he bought one of her mugs, and then she had this deal where like if you bought a mug, you could like buy a mug and then tell her like, oh, it'd be cool if you could do this, and then she'll make you a mug
She'll
too, or whatever. It was like a
customize
buy one
one.
get one
Yeah,
type of thing. So he thought that was really cool, and we ate like a half a barrel of pickles from him. So she's making like it looks like a little barrel. Like I posted on Facebook. Yeah. So
Yeah, for sure.
That guy was
Yeah.
so cool, Peter.
very cool. And
one of my
love,
favorite
like,
people.
I want to get a cardboard cutout like done just like that for like each one of us. Like I think we should have them, especially in the new store when we have all the space. We can like rotate them
Yeah.
out. Like, all right, me and Pat are working. Like we'll just have like Tyler cut out over there, like that we can talk to. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
Tyler's hanging out too.
You know, yeah. Mike says he'd rather listen to Betlam over Pink Rose. Yes, amen. Pink Rose aren't even really like. That's not really a thing. That's not really like when they show up. Like it's kind of like Angie's List almost. like Pink Rose, like there's not actually a Pink Rose handyman.
Right.
Like you call Pink Rose because they pay for the advertising, and then they're just like,
They
oh, you
just
need a
call some
drywall guy? Like,
random
hey,
dude,
like,
yeah.
hey, Louis, you do drywall? Like, go over there.
Well,
and, like, he
Louis
just
does
it.
do drywall,
He does.
so
I'm
he
just
would
saying,
be
like,
awesome.
right.
If they would call him, they would be.
Pete's Pickled Peppers and Pickles. I want to get, when we have the new store and we have the space for it, I want to have like a little corner, like put one of his barrels out, put some pickles out.
Sell some
like,
pickles.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the time.
I think we'd have to have a
shelf life
fridge.
is like-
Yeah.
Right? I think we'd have to have a fridge.
I don't know if you do need a fridge.
We'll
I
talk.
think-
No, if you go to the grocery store and they're not open pickles, right?
Yeah.
They're
His were
like
all cold. Like he
Yeah.
gave them to us refrigerated, but I don't know if that's just because they taste better. People prefer them that way.
He's gonna help us with the next year too, with like vendors
awesome.
and stuff. He does the Avon flea market regularly, and he goes to a lot of events, so he's in
That's
the
a
know
big
for
one.
vendors.
I was gonna say that's a big one for us. We don't have that repertoire of vendors. Like we have some, but
I thought all of the vendors that came out this year had some unique stuff to offer, and I thought they were all like cool local, small businesses and stuff like that. Mainly
yeah,
that people should be supporting.
all friends made along the way.
that was the most.
They were
important part.
definitely friends that we made along the way.
Andrew asks, did we sell all of the TFP lowers?
Yes, but if you really want one, I have one for sale. That's an employee's.
You got that good, good?
I got that good. if you
And employees, wait,
It's not mine.
did he get fired? He got chick hand. He's gone.
I was kind of reserving two, but
Oh.
if you want one, if you really, really want one, the price went up another 25. You can pay me the extra 25. No, I'm kidding. If you really, really want one, I can hook you up with one. But I literally only have like one. The shirts, the Freedom Weekend shirts, sold out. Not those ones.
I know.
That one is cool, but like the Freedom Weekend bullet shirt sold out in a few hours.
Very quickly.
Wild.
And not only sold out, we took pre-orders for like another 20.
Which will never happen again. But yes.
So yes, if you you could only buy it at Freedom Weekend still. So you still you can't call us today and get one of the bullet ones. We're not going to do that.
Nope.
So the only shirts that we have left are this one, which is the cowgirl one, which a lot of women vibed with. I guess
Yeah.
a lot of women
Unintentional, but
they were like, this is like sexy but not demeaning, and like it's a cool
Dude, that's exactly what I
cool
said.
representation.
I
of-
thought as far as
yeah.
like pinup images go, like it was
Right.
very like tastefully done,
what I
where
wanted
like
it.
anybody would, like nobody could object to it, right? There's not like an objectification vibe. It's a little more like an empowerment vibe.
Exactly.
sorry, I'm not
It's
trying
like-
to cover your face.
I don't.
Like she doesn't need
Somebody
a
needs to see
cowboy.
my fucking face, bro.
She doesn't need a cowboy. Like she's got her own horse. She's got her own gun.
Yeah.
Like she's good.
Don't need no man.
I don't need no cowman.
And then the Pew is Life one, which shameless plug. That's me.
Tyler likes that one. It is a very cool shirt.
Thank you.
Dope AF, I would say.
Sorry.
I like the
This one's hard to
change too.
display.
That one, like it used to be centered.
Dead center.
Like yeah, that's a very cool. The way they changed that, I love it.
Yeah.
I gotta get one of those. So yeah, these are shirts we're gonna have like year round.
They're
all
actually
the
for
time.
sale right there.
Yeah, we've got them over here. What are they? $20, 22,
22.
$22. Yeah. So, Lee says new shirt idea. Is this the firing pin? No, this is Patrick.
I love it.
I have actually said that on the phone.
So Andrew does want that lower. He says, "How do I get a hold of you? Can you email us, Andrew?
yeah, send me an email.
info@thefiringpinny.com.
Thank you. Yeah, thefiringpinny.com.
Best
The
URL
firing
ever.
pin.
I worked really hard for that one, okay?
NY.com.
I'm a little defensive because I got a lot of slack for that, okay?
I've heard that the longer and more complicated the URL, the better.
Yeah.
It's more memorable. So
well, maybe if you'd actually shell some money out and buy
Oh,
TFPNY.
shots fired. Hey, did you know if you hit Control Enter when you're typing, you don't have to do that?
This man owns Kanye's buzzsaw, but doesn't own TFPNY.
Because Kanye's buzzsaw was $10. TFP.com is like $3,000. That's why. So
Priorities, I
when,
see.
When Brendan Herrera did the video about the German MG3 machine
Yeah.
gun, that was when Kanye West was going through his he was saying a bunch of Nazi stuff and Hitler stuff or whatever.
Yeah, very
So-
anti-Semitic stuff. Going
Very
on.
crazy stuff. So the MG series of machine guns during the war were called Hitler's Buzzsaw,
Yeah,
right? So Brandon Herrera did a video and he titled it Kanye's Buzzsaw instead. Sure. And I saw that video, and I was like, that is very funny.
It's brilliant.
And I was in a mood.
Amazing.
I was in a mood of buying domain names, and I bought that one. It's not it's not hooked up right now to the firing pin, but like
don't search that, please.
Nobody else can.
Don't
use that.
ever search that.
That's mine. No, search it so the price goes up, and then I'll sell it to someone. That's how that works.
Don't search
That
it.
is exactly.
The more you search it, the more valuable it becomes. But yeah, there was a time where if you literally typed in Kanye'sBuzzsaw.com, it would redirect to the firing pin. So why not, right? Kanye's Buzzsaw.
I mean,
when I
bought a bunch of domains. I bought a bunch of domains.
Yeah, say that.
I bought a bunch of these domains more so like that other people couldn't. Like I think I bought like Western New York's bestgunshop.com. And like I went down a list of like actual serious ones.
I mean, we are Western.
You're
New York's
explaining
best
NFTs
shop,
pretty well, Dad.
Do we have any more people out there with questions, comments, concerns?
There's people still watching this?
Gripes or I know, right?
Yeah, Jim's like tough room tonight.
Yeah,
And we haven't
all
even talked about
busters.
circumcision once.
How many times are we supposed to? Hold on, you said we haven't talked about it once. How many
Editing that
times
video-
was it on the?
I edited the video for Facebook that you guys, only like 20 of you saw, but I edited that video and like I had to go through all of that. And, bro, Colin from RPO is probably one of my favorite. Dwayne's amazing. I love Dwayne, but between Dwayne and Colin, those are like my favorite people ever.
Dude,
They're
Colin
just
from
so
RPO
funny.
is a very cool guy.
Yeah.
I'm very high on Colin today too.
And he's like a shooter. He's one of us. He's got like
Yeah.
badass gear. Like,
Yep.
what was his six? Is it 6 mil bench rest? 6.5 bench rest? I think it's 6 mil
Yeah,
bench
something.
rest.
6 mil BR.
The nice
yeah.
thing about Colin, opposed to Dwayne, is with Dwayne I have to talk about college sports a lot, and that's not really my scene.
I don't have an athletic background like Dwayne does.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's tough. That's so funny. Did we ever come up with a name for the live stream?
yeah, we've kind of just kept it the
TFP
firing pin
live
live.
stream.
Yeah, TFP live stream. I don't know. Sometimes I say things and then I just regret them as soon as I say them, like changing the name of the live stream. But
Yeah,
and
nightmare
it
for
wasn't
me,
so
not
much.
you.
It wasn't so much changing the name. It was like adding. Let's add a little just to like explain it, just so
That link doesn't go anywhere.
TiePenis.com. Oh, Todd's.
Thank you for a gun-related question,
Todd's
Mike.
parked on that one.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much. I remember when this was a gun podcast live stream thing. I remember very vaguely. So if I were going to zero a pistol with a red dot on it, what I would do is I
Throw
would
it
take
out
it
and call
to-
911.
We're talking force on paper. So what I would do is I would take it to either 10 yards, 15 yards, or 25 yards. Those seem to be the most common zero distances. Personally, I am partial to the 15-yard zero. Now, it's a little bit subjective, but it's based on the ammunition that I shoot. So I shoot Fiocchi 115 115 grain 9 mil, generally. So the ballistics table on that roughly is, if 15 yards is my zero distance, then at 10 yards, I'm about half an inch, 0.75 to a half an inch low at 10. 15, I'm right on target. 25, I'm an inch high. 50 yards, I'm right back on target. So anywhere from 10 yards out to 50 yards, I'm within an inch of my point of aim, assuming that I don't fuck anything up, which I always do. So there's that. But if I wanted to minimize the amount of fucking up that I could actually do, I would take my pistol to the 15-yard line and I would lay a barrel. I actually just went through this process the other day. I took a barrel and I laid it on its side, like one of the blue 55-gallon ones. I laid it on its side. I put my pistol case over the barrel so that I had a nice soft place to rest the magazine well.
Poor man's ransom rest.
Yep. I put the magazine well right down there onto my pistol bag and I took a knee, and now I've got the most stable position that I can possibly get using those implements, right? And then I shot a 3-round group at 15 yards. Once I had the 3-round group, I drew a line from point A to point B and then to point C, so that I had triangulated my group. And then based on the triangle, I had a central point where the group was, and I used that central point to make an educated guess on my adjustment. I say educated guess because I have to assume that I'm putting some degree of variation onto the gun as well, right? I'm trying not to, but I'm going to put some amount of variation on the gun. So a big part of that process for me is watching what's happening to the sight as I'm breaking each individual shot to try and make sure that I'm accounting for how much variation I'm putting into the gun, right? So I'm basically trying to call each individual shot. Like, I sent that one a little low.
Sure.
And
right.
I have to acknowledge that some of that was probably my fault.
Right. Trigger control, whatever.
Trigger manipulation,
breath,
breathing,
obviously.
grip, right? Whatever the case is. Yeah, breath is a big one, right?
Breath is the only control.
So, but, I'm trying to minimize the amount of human influence into that equation, right? So I get a stable shooting platform, and I will try to, again, watch the sight, right, as I'm pressing the trigger, so I can see how much movement is happening on the gun as I'm going through that. And then once we do that, we shoot a group, we make an adjustment, and then we'll shoot another group, make an adjustment, and then once I think I have my adjustment, I'll shoot a final group.
Yeah.
And the final group generally, let's say that I had a 1 inch, let's say that I was going to use even something as big as this QR code right underneath where my thumb and forefinger are. If I'm put one here, here, and here, then I'm reasonably sure that there's some variation that has to do with me, and I let that be what it is, right?
Patrick,
go ahead.
Real quick question.
Sure.
Anime titty expert.
Okay, so you're.
Do you think that's acceptable?
JT asked a good question, but we're gonna skip ahead to Lee's. Yes.
Wait.
Anime titty expert. Do you think that's an acceptable occupation for New York State?
Who are you to say it's not?
I mean, if you get paid, bro, listen, your profession is your profession. I'm not here to tell you how you should make your living.
So
if that's what you do, if you're passionate about it, then do your thing, bro.
For those of you that don't,
be an anime titty expert.
For those of you that don't know, professional. For those of you that don't know, in New York, when you buy ammunition, we have to ask a bunch of things from you: your age, your residence, all this kind of stuff,
blood type,
as well
circumcised.
as your sperm count, all sorts of things, including your occupation. So, I certainly would not encourage this, but I think our customers have figured out there's no way to prove.
Yeah.
Like, what do I carry around? A fucking piece of paper that says this is what you do?
Your pistol permit.
Shut up.
But
again, you can write down, but you go, okay, my pistol permit.
They don't fact check
which
it.
It's not wrong. My pistol permit says arms dealer, because that is what I do, but they don't. How can they fact check it? What right do they have to fact check that? So when the statistics ever get run, there is such a huge adult film actor and actress population locally here, at least according to that data. We have no way of knowing. Just say whatever you want.
The amateur category is
very
rampant.
interesting.
Just say whatever you want.
Mine literally says instructor at the firing pin. I don't even have I had firearms instructor.
Go see Clarissa. Change it to Space Cowboy.
No, Clarissa.
Change it.
No, I don't know if somebody overruled her or what, but Clarissa was with me when I tried to change my thing, and it had firearms expert on it.
Yeah.
And then the next one I got
cool.
back just said, did I say
firearms expert is cool.
Firearms instructor, excuse me, I misspoke.
Yeah.
But it said firearms
Scumbag.
instructor, then it just said instructor.
That's stupid.
I think somebody may have made her take.
That's stupid.
Right. So I do like Clarissa though. She's good.
So JT asked a very good question. What's this he hears about the FPC members having a pistol brace injunction?
That is accurate. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the Firearms Policy Coalition filed a temporary restraining order or a temporary injunction request with the federal court, and they were granted their injunction, but it only covers members of the Firearms Policy Coalition because they're involved in the lawsuit.
Yep. It's kind of like a class action thing. Like when you use the thing, you signed up, you get to,
So.
And they were mentioning, Jeff and Cody were mentioning that if they make this partnership that they want to with Scope, it would go also for Scope members, because Scope members would be like affiliate members of FPC and kind of vice versa
fall
almost.
under
So
that
yeah,
kind of umbrella, yeah.
that's going to be a very cool partnership if that can get.
It sucks
off
that's
the
out
ground.
of our hands, but I really hope Scope is following through with that.
I'm
sure that they will.
We definitely need to get more involved, because the scope guys from Genesee County are amazing, but they've kind of been, I want to say, like fighting this fight on their own for the past, like, since the Safe Act came out 10 years ago, and they're feeling it. They're tired. Like it's hard.
The
It's
interesting
hard.
thing about Scope in general that I've noticed is that their membership trends older.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that they're all in a certain age category, but I am saying that they trend older, because older people in general are the ones I feel who care
FUWD.
more about
Sure.
firearms rights, right?
Yeah.
Because that's their heritage.
Yeah.
That's like
Sure.
a history,
And they
historical thing for
they maybe
them.
generally have more time to be engaged with that. They have the financial resources.
Well,
you
and
know,
it's not something.
ties over there. He's got to eat avocado toast. How can he afford to help FPC?
When they grew up, the stigma
Bud
around
Lights.
firearms was not the same as
Sure.
it is, right?
Agreed.
So
So poof.
I would say that now we've grown up in a society that where firearms are so stigmatized in general that, you know, a lot of people think anyone who's a member of one of those organizations, Scope, NRA, FPC, whatever, they're going to assume that they're some sort of an extremist.
Right.
Whereas,
Right.
you know, maybe they're just an enthusiast.
It's good to hear JT said he joined a little while ago based on our encouragement that they were the new group to support, and he's covered under that injunction.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
super
and
cool.
well, that's I mean, one good reason. Another good reason is obviously they're moving the ball down the field. And a third reason is because, you know, if we get Scope to hitch their wagon to them too, now that membership is all consolidated around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that could become very popular. So I want everybody to, you know, consider joining FPC. Maybe you can't afford it today. But
$30 a year.
$30 for the year, man. Next time you get paid, right? Write
Yeah.
those guys a check. Get on social media wherever you do
Skip
those kinds of
the
things.
chai triple latte this week. And
Gross. Don't do that ever. Anyways. Man.
when did we do the membership drive for them? Was that back in like July? I want to say
Yeah, it was just
We-
before the new semi-auto.
We signed up over 100
Permits.
members for FPC, which was really cool. We did a deal with like every gun sold this month. You tell us it was either GOA or FPC. I think or NYSERPA we did too, but
Yep.
we gave it was over 100 memberships out to people, and
And I hope
it's
those
funny 'cause-
people renewed and stuff.
I hope so
and
too.
stay
Yeah.
there, yeah.
It's funny. Some of them, like, they set for privacy reasons. I'll do this too sometimes. They will, like, you know, signed up like Pat Kimball, and then instead of like your home address, you put this address. So every month,
Awesome.
like, I'll be at home and I'll get like my GOA or I'll get my NYSERPA, I'll get my letter from them, and I know when I come into the firing pin the next day, I'll
There's
have
gonna be
like there's like
30 of
20 or
them.
30 of them here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, John just renewed his membership to NYSERPA. That's awesome. They did. I was very happy. They were the group that was responsible for like the Bruin decision, which I know was somewhat the catalyst of a lot of these racist and unconstitutional laws that we have.
yeah, but hey, I mean,
we
if
are
the
going to fight
government
them and have them removed. You know, I mean,
when the government has to respond in that way, though, you know that you're doing
Yeah.
something that's effective, right?
Right.
Like, so
right?
they can't just sit back on their heels. We make them play our game.
How you gonna give away? I agreed. You gonna give away your golden ticket?
I mean, yeah, towards the end, whenever we're ready.
I mean,
Okay.
I feel like
You're teasing it.
I feel like you're over there twisting it in your fingers.
I was reading the back.
Do we have a bunch of questions, comments, concerns? I don't have too much more, guys. I'm
The only
kinda
other
running out
thing
of
we got
steam
was
here.
when will the Freedom Weekend T-shirts come in?
Stay tuned. Pretty soon. I'm working with.
As soon as we can. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one
I'm
of those
working on
like
that.
it's a special order kind of at
Yeah.
this point. So a couple of weeks probably,
Yeah.
right? Three weeks maybe,
Give or take.
at the most. Yeah,
I hate putting a number on it, but yeah,
We will be in touch.
we will be touching with you.
that's also
We'll be,
gonna
we'll be touching it.
that's gonna be a theme that will carry forward next year. It won't be the same
Don't
shirt.
spoil it.
Wow, we gotta let people know though. You missed out on this year's shirt. You're gonna have to get next
It's gonna
year's
be pretty
shirt.
close, but it's gonna be cooler.
Yeah, we're gonna try to start a new tradition with those and make them fun and cool. And I was just that shirt couldn't have turned out better.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
like,
so
that was
happy the
just-
way it happened.
Seriously,
Hey, Josiah, do you see what I see in the comments? There's a question from Andrew. Can you just send him a DM with my phone number in it, please?
Or just dox it. Like, what is your phone number, Pat?
Well, the throughway stop.
Do you
by
think
the,
I'm scared?
That run,
to put
the
my
men-
phone
the-
number on the. Nobody
men's
gives
room-
a shit. Nobody wants to call me.
The men's room off the highway over in Pavilion.
Oh, that's
It's-
true. It is for a good
Third stall.
time.
With the hole in it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
okay.
It's in both sides too, so like whatever one you go into.
Which is weird.
The TFP lowers will probably be a little longer. They're like being finalized. Again, we will contact you. I promise you. I cannot wait to get those in. Can I give away the golden ticket?
Do it.
I want to give the golden ticket to. Let me pull him up real quick.
John says that's how he found out about you in the bathroom stall. I'm assuming.
Actually, that's how we got his resume too, right? Ricky.
Yeah, I
Ricky
dropped it
Umlauf.
off 4 different
Ricky?
times.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
he came in the other day, and I'm happy to see him on the stream and making me laugh so much over here.
Yeah, he's been really active in the comments. and
He
stuff like
deserves
that.
this because he has recently lost a toe, and this man needs some chicken
Really?
in his life. We actually I have also lost a digit, so like we were just like making jokes about that, and it was so fun.
Is there a flurba for that
There can be
for people that are
missing digited.
There probably
missing
has to be,
distance
right?
people.
Like
So you guys are like wiener cousins, but different.
I don't
I don't
want
want to compete in that. I'll lose.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I know I'm not trying to diminish your thing either. It's not like you lost. You hear of like the phantom limb
Yeah.
thing. Did you lose enough where you've
Oh yeah,
experienced that as well?
For the
Like,
first few months,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be typing and I'll go to hit like Shift A.
Yeah.
And like my brain will like feel me hit the button, but like
You didn't.
I didn't even
it.
touch.
That's
I touched
crazy.
Shift. Sorry.
But but you
I've kind of gotten over that.
you feel it now.
ish,
Sure.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I just more or less deal with like gripping heavy things. That's an issue.
Yeah.
I think
So-
it's cool that they put a nail on there for you.
That's actually like my finger. Like, so they did bone grafting. So I had osteomyelitis and my middle finger got like double the size and like super pussy. And I had a bacterial infection that shred the bone.
Yeah.
So they had to cut my finger open, take out all of the bone, leave it unboned for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And you ever see Harry Potter, the second one where they like bend his arm back? You could literally do that with my finger. It was floppy.
I remember that.
And after that, they put a sterile like bar in there to clean it.
Yeah.
And then they took bone from my wrist and formed it into a finger bone and grafted it.
Dude, that's so hard.
It's really cool, but my finger shrunk in that process because it was
Right.
boneless for so long.
For sure.
But it's taken some getting used to, and it took me a long time too. I'm very lucky. I had a really good OT at Clinton Crossing. Shout out to Dana. She would let me like bring in mags and stuff, and like
Oh,
I would
that's
like
cool.
load magazines
Yeah.
in.
I remember
her
that was a
office.
huge concern of yours.
Yeah,
like
racking
this is what I
a
do.
slide,
Like,
loading
this
a
is my
mag.
career.
And she's like, "This is
Yeah.
occupational therapy. Like,
Yeah.
this is your occupation.
That's
Let's get you
cool.
doing it."
Yeah. A lot of places would not have been cool with that.
Oh
At
yeah.
all.
Oh yeah.
But-
Absolutely.
We're
So-
all really fortunate to live in an area like Rochester where there's so much great healthcare.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, right? There's so many great healthcare facilities
Rochester's
and
awesome with
research
that.
going on and stuff like that. Like, this is actually a really cool spot.
Nice.
We shit on New York a lot, but Western New York is pretty legit.
It's the government that we hate.
Government.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the people are awesome.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
obviously, naturally, the environment is super beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to end
I think it's time
on
to call it.
one little quote from you, Pat.
What you got, buddy?
I loved this. This was a few minutes ago. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've grown up in a society